How do I know if my OCD is getting worse? Well, it seems like a pretty self-explanatory answer, but it's not always obvious. When I look at OCD, I look for what is getting in the way of somebody's life. Am I all of a sudden late for work more often? I'm having a hard time getting in and out of my car. I'm not hanging out with my kids. I'm not picking up knives. I'm not going swimming. How I know somebody's OCD is getting worse is that they're finding more periods of their life being taken up by compulsions. The compulsions are things people do to feel better, whether it's washing hands, it's checking something, it's asking for reassurance. A lot of people think that if I'm having more intrusive thoughts, that means my OCD is getting worse. But really, we're not looking at the thoughts. We're looking at the behaviors you are doing. So what are you doing because of these thoughts? We want to replace compulsions with exposures. Instead of me avoiding the pool because I don't want to go swimming, I'm going to make sure I visit that pool every single day. And I'm going to make it really meaningful. I'm going to come up with some exposures for me to face my fear. I'm using a lot of maybe, maybe not statements, and I'm not using compulsions. If you're having a lot of thoughts, eventually we can take the value away from them that they're just thoughts. They might be really annoying, pesky, but they don't matter as much as we think they do. Can OCD cause physical tics? Well, yeah. I've seen many people do compulsions, which looks like a tic, where it might be moving their arm a certain way because if they move it that way, they feel a little bit better, but they don't know why they feel better. They just know I gotta move my arm this way. Or maybe I have to do lots of prayers. So my head goes up like this and I pray. My head goes up like this and it almost looks like a physical tic. People might have tapping motions they do. I gotta tap this 5 times, I gotta move this 3 times, I gotta do this. Whatever it is the brain says, they look like tics. However, if somebody has tics and Tourette's, that diagnosis actually is separate. And the treatment we do for those might be different. But if somebody is doing a tic because of OCD, we're gonna sit there and try to resist that urge to do the tic, enjoy the feeling. Let that feeling go up and let it go down. Any physical movement that somebody's doing repetitively over and over and over again as a result of a thought, they want to get it to go away, they're trying to figure it out, I mean, just consider that a tic. How do I cope with intrusive thoughts during intimate moments? I don't think I've ever answered this. Intrusive thoughts love to come at those moments where it would be like a no-no time. I don't want these thoughts when I'm being intimate. I don't want them to happen when I'm at church, when I'm with my friends, when I'm with my spouse, whatever it is. So when they do happen in those intimate moments, we just let them happen. If we're going in and saying, I cannot have thoughts, I cannot have thoughts, that would be horrible if I had intrusive thought while I'm being intimate, guess what's gonna happen? You're making these thoughts happen because you don't want them to happen. Instead, it can be like, I hope these thoughts don't happen. And we're like, yeah, maybe they will, maybe they won't. You're welcome to come my way if you'd like. Bring those thoughts. Cool. I'm about to go be intimate, and you're welcome to, I guess, join with whatever thought you want to bring. We're not bringing them in on purpose. We're just allowing your brain to say, hey, let them come in, let them leave. Let them come in, let them leave. I guess the big key word here is allow. Allow the thoughts to happen. Can OCD be misdiagnosed as ADHD? Yeah, man. I find with many people I've worked with, they say, I have OCD and ADHD. I was diagnosed when I was a kid. And we find out that when we've done a lot of treatment for OCD specifically, all of a sudden their ADHD symptoms have reduced. You want to know why? Because with OCD, there are a lot of thoughts. With ADHD, there are a lot of thoughts. When someone's doing a lot of compulsions, trying to avoid a fear, they're easily distracted. They're fidgety. They're moving around. So we find out that somebody who might have both, and it's totally possible to have both, not saying you can't, but I often don't see ADHD misdiagnosed as OCD. I usually find when we're doing that treatment, people have done it, the ADHD is gone, wasn't there to begin with. But people can have both. It can be really tricky sometimes to find this out. Are there any specific coping strategies for Pure-O? Pure-O is all about people having those intrusive thoughts. They're not really doing any compulsions that you can physically see. So they're not grabbing things, they're not washing their hands. A lot of the compulsions are either thought stopping or rumination. I'm trying to figure this out. I need to know if this is true, if it's not. You might not ever know they're doing a compulsion. So coping strategies, we use the same treatment for all OCD, exposure and response prevention. How can I retrain my brain? I can have a thought, you're gonna send off the alarms, and I'm gonna teach you that maybe it doesn't matter as much as you're telling me it matters. So I might just enjoy the thoughts, even if they're gross, even if they're horrible, even if they're the worst thing ever, it goes against my values. Let me have the thoughts, and I might be smiling. I might sit there, smile, love it, this is great. Awesome. Cool. Please come back. Don't leave me, thoughts. I want these to be here. This is a good strategy. Sometimes I have people set timers throughout the day. I'm going to sit with these thoughts 12 times a day, 15 times a day. It goes off. I'm going to lay down. I'm gonna smile. I'm gonna love it. Cool. Awesome. Whatever compulsions you're doing inside your mind, we're not doing those. We're not figuring this out anymore. We're not saying they're good. We're not saying they're bad. They are what they are. Can OCD lead to self-harm behaviors? Yes. Unfortunately, yes. Usually where I see it is somebody might feel that urge to punish themselves because of the thought, I deserve to do this. So they might, I don't know, hit their head against the wall. They might punch themselves. They might hurt themselves. And it makes them feel better. It's the ultimate compulsion that says you deserve this. But guess what? It doesn't teach your brain anything other than shame and guilt. People have done self-harming behaviors as a way to just relieve that anxiety for a microsecond, but it doesn't last. But I often see these as compulsions. What is the person doing to feel better from a thought, a feeling, a sensation? Don't do them. It's not worth it. How do I handle these triggers in public places? Well, we practice. Every time I go to the store, I'm getting triggered. I'm going to the store often, a lot, every day, multiple times a day if I have to. And I'm practicing. Every time I walk by the kid aisle with all the toys, I get triggered. I'm spending most of my time down those aisles. I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna walk down. I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna walk down. I'm gonna walk up, I'm gonna walk down. Practicing relaxing. I'm acting like I don't care. Whatever. Thoughts are gonna happen. You're this, you're that, you could do this. Maybe. I don't know. Cool. Thanks for the thoughts. Eventually the brain learns. Wait, you're the boss here? You're doing what you want? You're not doing what I tell you to do? These urges, these sensations, the feelings, thoughts start slowing down. So in other words, to handle triggers in public places, you go be in those places more often without the compulsions. We're doing exposures. If you haven't learned what those are yet, got it in my online course, Master Your OCD, go check it out down in the description. Can OCD be triggered by major life changes? Yeah, that is when it happens, man. It attacks people's value system. They're dating somebody new. That's a big life change. Is this the right relationship for me? Am I in the right thing? Am I making the wrong choice? Will I harm this person? I love them so much. I don't know. I hope I don't harm them. Maybe I'm getting my degree in school. Are you sure you made the right choices? This would be horrible. Are you sure you want to be a therapist? You want to hear people's problems all day long? Probably made the wrong choice. What if you do something inappropriate with a client? Man, that'd be horrible. The intrusive thoughts will grab onto any major life thing in someone's life. Not all of them, but it wants to attack these new values, these new things in someone's life. So you might be ready for that. The next major thing that's happening in your life. Oh, so you might grab onto it. You are ready for those answers. Maybe you made the wrong choice. Yeah, maybe. I keep pointing over here. You see that? Maybe not. Maybe not. To everything. I don't know. Who knows? I guess we'll see. How do I support a loved one with OCD? You love them. You might sit down with them if they're willing, write down all the things that they're doing as compulsions and see how you can help them. You're not forcing anything. You can't force them to do it, but you can choose for yourself how you're going to answer them. Maybe you're not doing reassurance anymore. They're saying, is there going to be a fire with this thing? I don't know. Maybe that's your answer for everything. How do I know if I picked the right person? I don't know. Maybe you didn't. Maybe you did. What if I accidentally give in to my urge and it hurt somebody? I don't know. Maybe not. I guess we'll figure it out when the time comes. They're not going to want to come to you with those questions anymore when you're giving an answer like that. Because guess what? Any reassurance asking, we don't actually know the answer. We're all guessing. We're hoping for the best. But the person needs to go live their life regardless, not protect. Find a therapist if needed. I do have an online course for parents as well. Go check that out. But go find a therapist. They might explain to you specifically for your loved one, this is what you can do. You might have a check-in every day. What's one thing you did really well as treatment? One thing you can work on a little bit better. If they say, don't help me at all, maybe that's your thing. But you choose on your end how you're going to respond to them. That was a little short snippet of how you can help your loved one. But a big thing they need is love. They just want to feel comfort. I totally get it. Love them, love them, love them. And that might mean you're not giving that reassurance that they want. What questions do you have about OCD? I would love to answer them in another video. Thank you so much for watching. And there's probably another video here, but I'll see you next time. Go click on that. ADHD misdiagnosed as OCD. Wait, did I say that right? But you can force